Hi everyone, this is Davina from Radio Nyra, and today we have a very special guest. You can tune in to us on 99.9 FM, 1490 AM, and 101.9 FM. So today's guest is Aanya Lunani. She's a 13-year-old Indian girl from our community here right in the RTP. She's at the Payless Academy in 8th grade, and she's just won a championship in horseback riding for her category, which is medium-sized ponies. We also have her trainer, Mrs. Jennifer Bryant. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Yes, so let's start with you, Aanya. Tell us a little bit more about horseback riding and the derby, and how did this all start and when?
So this started maybe about 5 years ago when we moved from New Jersey to North Carolina. It started off as a hobby, but then when I met Miss Jen, I got into competitive horse riding, and I did a whole lot more of that.
Oh, wow. And Mrs. Bryant, where is your barn and what's it called? The stables?
Trademark Stables, and it's in Sanford, North Carolina.
Okay. And how long have you had it?
22 years in North Carolina, and I grew up in upstate New York with a horse stable as well.
Very nice. So Aanya, did you ever try other sports, and how did you choose this?
So I've tried quite a few sports, including soccer, tennis, swimming, and so many others, but I chose horse riding because it kind of fed my love of animals, and I could relate to it a whole lot more, and I could get skills out of it that I wouldn't be able to get out of other sports, like empathy, leadership, and just taking care of others. That's one thing I really learned.
And what's your first memory or experience with a horse?
So my very first real horse riding memory would have to be when I first met Miss Jen at a horse show, and we did a trial lesson on a pony named Martini, and I had so much fun, and that's when I really fell in love with horse riding, was when I first got on Martini.
Very nice. And Mrs. Bryant, when did you first spot talent in Aanya?
Honestly, on that day, because a lot of this sport revolves around really being able to take a lot of information in and apply it immediately. So you have to have full faith in the person that you choose as your trainer. And here we were at a horse show, and it was windy, and she didn't know me, and her parents didn't know me, and she didn't know the pony, and had full faith, and it went perfectly. That day she learned something that day, which is called posting, that most people take weeks and months to learn. And even in that scenario, she was able to learn that day. And it really is a sport where if you have a student where you can kind of like a computer input the data, and then they can kind of, spit it out, that's the kid that learns the most, because it's a hard sport. You're starting off at least on a 600, 700 pound pony. So there's no time for, not having full faith.
I see. Okay, that's very interesting to know. So Aanya, what's your training routine like? How many hours per day do you train? How many hours per week maybe?
So I think because of the pandemic, a lot has changed, including my schedule. It's changed drastically. So pre-COVID, I did 2 to 3 lessons a week, and I would do horse shows every weekend. And I'd probably spend maybe 7 to 8 hours a week, at the barn or at shows. And I think right now I still do the same amount of shows, but I just don't go to the barn as much, not only because of COVID, but also because the barn is a little farther now.
Okay. And do your parents come with you?
My mom comes with me the most, and my dad, because of the store, he doesn't come as often, but he's always sending love and support even though he can't make it.
Okay, that's very nice. What store is it?
It's Raj Jewelers.
Okay, very nice.
My mom, she always tries her best to make it to shows, and she always takes me to practices, and she's always there watching me. And my dad, he tries to make it to all of my derbies, and I think my dad, he's sometimes kind of bummed that he can't make it to my horse shows, but he's always sending so much love and support.
That's very nice. So what do you like the most about this, and what do you find most difficult about this sport?
So my favorite part of horse riding would have to be derbies, and it's basically a course of jumps, and it's basically just a series of tight turns and twists, and it's so much fun when you're on the right pony, and when you've had a lot of practice in that derby. And yeah, I won derby finals recently last year, and I think that was a really big thing for me. But one challenge would have to be being in the ring, rain or shine. It's really hard to be in the ring sometimes when it's like pouring rain. Last year during a show, it started thundering and there was a whole rainstorm during one of my horse shows, and but we made it out with second place. And that day I learned so much about just having so much trust in my horse, and and Miss Jen, you really helped me out that day too. Everyone was cheering me on. I think, I learned so much that day.
Very nice. Congratulations. So what's your dream in this competitively and, for the future?
So I think right now I'm focusing on going to pony finals, which is one of the biggest competitions in the US for my age group. And I want to qualify on my pony Luna, and I just want to make my barn family, my family, and my community proud. I just want to do well there and have a lot of fun. Very nice.
So what would you say horse riding has taught you? And is there one special horse that you love?
I think horse riding has taught me a whole lot about how to take care of others, how to show empathy, respect, and having trust in others, and especially leadership, because before horse riding I was extremely timid. Like, I would not speak to anybody, I was just really shy. But horse riding really gave me that confidence to not be scared to voice my opinion, and not be scared to actually speak to others. And my horse Bunny, she's she's super special to me. We've done everything together over the last 3 years, and I think she's an extremely special pony, and I would not have been able to do a lot of things without her.
Wow. So Mrs. Bryant, what would you say are the top 3 qualities that a champion needs?
Work ethic, for sure. And sometimes that's a lot of work at home, and sometimes it's kind of like how Aanya discussed, where we're at horse shows. But when we're at horse shows, she's riding, whether it's showing that day or practicing Thursday through Sunday at least. So it's kind of very much a boot camp of learning. You have to be pretty selfless, because these horses take a lot of care. So you can't, sometimes you have to make a decision to skip a horse show or to skip a class because your horse is too hot or too cold, or showing you some sign that they're not ready for something that day. And it's kind of like having kids, you just have to make those decisions. And also teamwork. A lot of people don't realize at the sport, because it's just an individual riding, but all the girls at the barn support each other. And then the team between the pony and the rider is huge, because when they're connected, when she's doing those turns that she's talking about, she can get to the point where she just kind of looks to the right and the pony will turn to the right. But the pony won't necessarily do that for a new kid. But like once they're really practiced a lot, it's a pretty amazing teamwork.
Okay. So do you think this is a sport where talent and hard work and determination and skill are in symbiosis, or do you think hard work alone can get you there?
So I've had students in all different fields. Like, I've had students that did not start riding with and show me like the most ability, but they were hard workers and rose to the top. And I've had some that it came very natural to and didn't work quite as hard and didn't quite make it to the top.
Okay.
The other thing on top of that is it takes a full family support, because sometimes we're on the road and we're gone, and whether it's sometimes the student will come with me, or sometimes a lot of times the parents are there. It's a lot of work. The parents are up early and up late and holding horses and trying to make sure everything looks perfect as they walk into the ring, because these big animals have to look like a model. They have to be absolutely looking perfect every time they walk into the ring.
I see. So Aanya, what message would you have for girls and boys of your age?
I think one message that I have for people of my age is that you should never give up. And I think I learned this because 3 years ago, my horse, she wasn't doing too well, and we didn't know that. So while I was on her, I'd get thrown off of her quite a lot because, you know, we didn't know that she wasn't feeling too great. And, you know, after that, I lost all my confidence, and I told my mom that I wanted to give up horse riding, and she told me that I have to have at least one champion ribbon under my belt. And I'm so glad that she said this, because this definitely motivated me to get better and to do better in horse riding. And after maybe 2 or 3 months, I started doing like a whole lot better, and there was such a drastic change. And after I had that one champion ribbon under my belt, you know, I think I really regained my confidence, and I knew that I could actually, you know, do well, right? So I think that was basically the whole turning point for me, and that's, you know, that really taught me that you can do anything if you work hard and never give up and persevere. And yeah, you just need to always, you know, work hard, you know, towards your goal.
Your mom was the motivating factor then. So do you think horse riding has, not just horse riding, but do you think any sport like this, especially horse riding, has any benefits for college in terms of scholarships and stuff?
I think one benefit is that horse riding is a really unique sport that not everyone has tried or done. And I think that's what colleges look for. They want to look for something that can make you stand out. And I think, yeah, that's something that all colleges look for. It's one of the many benefits.
Right, because we hear about soccer and other kinds of scholarships, but not horse riding so much. So that was great to know, and thank you for joining us on this show. It was wonderful having you and to spread this sport and the word out to the greater community. And thank you for joining us also, Mrs. Bryant.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Yes. Thank you for your time. And when you win some more championships, let us know, and we'll have you back on another show in future, hopefully.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining Radio Nyra.